भी जारी रहा। इस घटना में मृतकों की संख्या 16 हो गई है। इस बीच भारतीय जनता पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जगत प्रकाश नड्डा व केंद्रीय सूचना एवं प्रसारण और युवा मामले व खेल मंत्री अनुराग सिंह ठाकुर कल रविवार को हिमाचल प्रदेश में हुए भारी नुकसान का जायजा लेने के लिए प्रदेश के प्रवास पर रहेंगे। वे इस प्राकृतिक त्रासदी में दिवंगत लोगों के परिवारजनों के साथ मुलाकात भी करेंगे। रितेश कपूर, आकाशवाणी समाचार, शिमला।
पंजाब में बाढ़ की स्थिति गंभीर बनी हुई है। तरन और फिरोजपुर जिलों के कई और गांव बाढ़ में डूब गए हैं। सेना, राष्ट्रीय आपदा मोचन बल और अन्य एजेंसियों की मदद से प्रशासन बाढ़ में फंसे हुए लोगों को निकालने में जुटा है। ब्यौरा हमारी संवाददाता से।
बाढ़ के मौजूदा दौर में 100 से अधिक गांवों में 20,000 से अधिक लोग प्रभावित हुए हैं। तरन में धुस्सी बांध में दरार आने के बाद अनेक गांव बाढ़ के पानी में डूब गए हैं। इसी तरह फिरोजपुर जिले के 20 से अधिक गांवों में भी बाढ़ का पानी दाखिल हो गया है। प्रभावित जिलों में स्कूलों को अगले आदेशों तक बंद कर दिया गया है, जबकि रेलवे ने फिरोजपुर से जालंधर, होशियारपुर और पठानकोट रेल मार्ग पर कई गाड़ियों को रद्द कर दिया है। शिशु शर्मा शांतल, आकाशवाणी समाचार, जालंधर।
मणिपुर में 3 मई को हिंसा भड़कने के बाद म्यांमार में आश्रय लेने वाले भारतीय नागरिकों को मणिपुर पुलिस, भारतीय सेना और असम राइफल सहित संयुक्त सुरक्षा बल सुरक्षित वापस ले आए हैं। सीमावर्ती शहर मोरे में रहने वाले मैतेई परिवार के घरों को उपद्रवियों द्वारा जलाए जाने के बाद वे शहर छोड़कर चले गए थे और म्यांमार की सीमा में प्रवेश कर गए थे। 3 महीने से अधिक समय तक म्यांमार में आश्रय लेने वाले परिवारों को सुरक्षा बल कल मोरे में सुरक्षित वापस ले आए। पेरिस में तीरंदाजी विश्व कप के चौथे और अंतिम चरण में भारत को 2 स्वर्ण और 3 कांस्य पदक हासिल हुए। महिला और पुरुष कंपाउंड टीम ने स्वर्ण पदक जीते, जबकि महिला और पुरुष रिकर्व टीम को कांस्य पदक हासिल हुए। महिलाओं के कंपाउंड व्यक्तिगत वर्ग में ज्योति सुरेखा वेन्नम ने कांस्य पदक जीता। अजरबैजान के बाकू में विश्व निशानेबाजी चैंपियनशिप में आज महिलाओं की 10 मीटर एयर राइफल स्पर्धा में भारत की मेहुली घोष ने कांस्य पदक जीता और अगले वर्ष पेरिस में होने वाले ओलंपिक के लिए भी कोटा हासिल कर लिया। देश के कई हिस्सों में लोक पर्व तीज आज परंपरागत उल्लास से मनाया जा रहा है। इस मौके पर राजस्थान में कई स्थानों पर तीज मेले आयोजित किए जा रहे हैं। हमारे संवाददाता ने बताया है कि पर्यटन विभाग की ओर से जयपुर में तीज महोत्सव का आयोजन किया जा रहा है।
शहर के परकोटे में तीज माता की सवारी शाही लवाजमे के साथ निकाली गई। हाथी, घोड़े और बैंड बाजे के साथ निकलने वाली इस सवारी को देखने हर साल हजारों देशी विदेशी पर्यटक जयपुर आते हैं। महाराजा सवाई जयसिंह द्वितीय ने 1927 में तीज की सवारी निकालना शुरू किया था। तीज माता यानी देवी पार्वती की भव्य मूर्ति स्थायी रूप से सिटी पैलेस में रहती है। साल में 2 दिन तीज माता की सवारी निकाली जाती है। सावन के शुक्ल पक्ष की तृतीया को तीज माता कहा जाता है, जबकि शुक्ल पक्ष की चतुर्थी को बूढ़ी तीज माना जाता है और यह सवारी कल निकाली जाएगी। जितेंद्र द्विवेदी, आकाशवाणी समाचार, जयपुर।
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने आज त्रिपुरा के महाराजा वीर विक्रम माणिक्य बहादुर को उनकी 115वीं जयंती पर याद किया। एक संदेश में श्री मोदी ने कहा कि महाराजा वीर विक्रम माणिक्य बहादुर की दूरदर्शिता और नेतृत्व क्षमता आने वाली पीढ़ियों को प्रेरित करती रहेगी। अंत में मुख्य समाचार एक बार फिर। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने कहा, भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था वैश्विक चुनौती के दौर में आशा की किरण बनकर उभरी। स्वास्थ्य मंत्री मनसुख मांडविया ने गुजरात के गांधीनगर में G20 स्वास्थ्य मंत्रियों की बैठक के अंतिम दिन आज वैश्विक डिजिटल स्वास्थ्य कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ किया। केंद्र ने घरेलू आपूर्ति में सुधार के लिए प्याज पर 40% निर्यात शुल्क लगाया। हिमाचल प्रदेश में अत्यधिक वर्षा और भूस्खलन से जनजीवन प्रभावित। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अध्यक्ष जगत प्रकाश नड्डा तथा सूचना और प्रसारण मंत्री अनुराग सिंह ठाकुर कल राज्य में नुकसान का आकलन करेंगे। और पेरिस में विश्व कप तीरंदाजी प्रतियोगिता के चौथे चरण में भारत ने पुरुष और महिला टीम कंपाउंड स्पर्धा के स्वर्ण पदक जीते। इसके साथ ही समाचार संध्या का ये अंक समाप्त हुआ। नमस्कार।
Good evening. This is Akashvani. I am Valsa Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India's economy shines as a beacon of hope in these challenging times. Union Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya launches global initiative on digital health on concluding day of G20 Health Ministers meeting at Gandhinagar. Centre imposes 40% export duty on onions to improve its domestic availability. In Himachal Pradesh, normal life disrupted due to heavy rainfall and landslides. BJP President JP Nadda and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur to visit the state tomorrow to assess damages. And in archery, India win gold medals in both men's and women's team compound events at World Cup Stage 4 Games in Paris. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India's economy shines as a beacon of hope in these challenging times. Sharing a report of a business news portal, Mr. Modi said with robust growth and resilient spirit, the future looks promising. He called upon everyone to keep up this momentum and ensure prosperity for 140 crore Indians. The report said that India's economy has not just withstood challenges but thrived, setting the stage for optimism. It said, with Make in India, the country aims to supercharge its manufacturing value chain, and by 2025, India's manufacturing sector is expected to hit $1 trillion. The report said India has seized the population demographic crown from China, and the bulk of Indians are young, more workers than retirees, and this number is only growing. Quoting the IMF, it said India is the fifth largest economy after the US, China, Japan and Germany, and it will overtake both Japan and Germany to claim the third spot in 2027. The report also said that India is poised to outperform its peers in the long term as lofty valuations ease and investors look to bet on the economy's growth run. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken about India's rising prosperity. Among others, he cited the research report by senior journalist Anil Padmanabhan to underscore his point. In an exclusive interview to Akashvani News, Anil Padmanabhan spoke in detail about income tax returns spiking to 7.4 crore so far in financial year 2023-24 due to improved compliance and spread of economic activity across the country. He added that the government's efforts have created an enabling environment for economic prosperity to trickle down.
It's the spread of economic activity in this country. So what we are seeing within this latest ITR numbers, which is on July 31st, 7.4 crore number, is that the super metros are growing at single digits, the tax filings, but beyond the super metros, they are growing in double digits.
Tune into 100.1 FM Gold channel and additional frequencies of Akashvani at 9:15 tonight to listen to the English program. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India's digital public infrastructure offers scalable, secure and inclusive solutions for global challenges. Virtually addressing the G20 Digital Economy Ministers meeting in Bengaluru today, the Prime Minister stressed the unique opportunity with the G20 Forum to lay the foundation of an inclusive, prosperous and secure global digital future. He has called upon G20 delegates to work on a global technology-based ecosystem to address the challenges faced by humanity. He said this will advance financial inclusion and productivity through digital public infrastructure.
We can advance financial inclusion and productivity through digital public infrastructure. We can promote the use of digital technology by farmers and small businesses. We can establish the framework to build a global digital health ecosystem. We can also develop a framework for safe and responsible use of artificial intelligence. We can build an entire ecosystem for technology-based solutions to address the challenges faced by humanity.
The Prime Minister welcomed the efforts of the G20 Working Group on Digital Economy to create a virtual global digital public infrastructure repository that would help create a transparent and accountable digital ecosystem for all. Union Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya launched the Global Initiative on Digital Health, GIDH, a WHO-managed network, in the presence of Director General World Health Organization Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus on the concluding day of the G20 Health Ministers meeting at Gandhinagar today. In his address at the launch of GIDH, Mr. Mandaviya said India's G20 presidency has leveraged its experience on developing a national digital health architecture through the convergence of digital health interventions.
इम्यूनाइजेशन में रिकॉर्ड क्रिएट करके उसका सर्टिफिकेट किया जाए, उसके लिए भी आने वाले दिनों में हम आगे बढ़ेंगे। उसका प्लेटफॉर्म रेडी हो चुका है, डिजिटल टूल्स भी रेडी हो चुका है। आभा आईडी के द्वारा 40 करोड़ से अधिक लोगों को कवर किया गया है, ताकि डिजिटल हेल्थ रिकॉर्ड अपने पास हो। जो भी डॉक्टर के पास जाए अपनी हेल्थ को दिखाने के लिए, तब आभा अकाउंट से डॉक्टर को सारी हिस्ट्री मालूम हो। इस तरह से डिजिटल सेक्टर में इंडिया आगे बढ़ रहा है।
The minister also released the World Bank's flagship report on digital in health, unlocking value for everyone. Speaking on the occasion, WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said GIDH is an integrative step that fosters equity in healthcare by converging efforts and best practices. G20 Health Ministers meeting concluded with the unanimous adoption of the outcome document. The member countries showed commitment to build resilient, inclusive, accessible healthcare system to tackle future health emergencies. The member countries also showed commitment to strengthening the dialogue with the finance track through the G20 Joint Finance Health Task Force and welcomed the conclusion of the first call for proposals of the Pandemic Fund. Briefing media in Gandhinagar, Mr. Mandaviya said the world is looking at India as a trusted partner during health emergencies. Under India's G20 presidency, G20 countries showed commitment to build resilient, inclusive, accessible healthcare system to tackle future health emergencies. He said India, which is known as the pharmacy of the world, will soon become hospitals on the earth with the rapid growth of medical tourism in the country.
एक बहुत बड़ा रिवॉल्यूशन है डॉक्टर टेड्रोस ने देखा और उन्होंने कहा कि देशों को इस टाइप का मॉडल अडॉप्ट करना चाहिए। उन्होंने सराहना की। आज विश्व के देशों ने हिंदुस्तान फार्मेसी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड तो है, सभी डेलीगेट्स बोल रहे थे कि आने वाले दिनों में हम हॉस्पिटल ऑन अर्थ होंगे, यानी कि दुनिया ट्रीटमेंट कराने के लिए इंडिया में आएंगे, ऐसा विश्वास ये लोगों ने व्यक्त किया।
Talking about the important outcomes of the meeting, Additional Secretary of Ministry of Health, Lava Agarwal, said the Global Initiative on Digital Health and Consensus on Climate Health Initiative in India was one of the major outcomes of the G20 meet. On the third day of the Youth 20 Summit 2023, which is underway at Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, the international delegates participating in the event deliberated and negotiated on the 5 identified themes for the finalization of the Y20 communique. The themes include Future of Work, Industry 4.0, Innovation and 21st Century Skills, Shared Future, Youth in Democracy and Governance, and Climate Change and Disaster Risk Reduction. Talking to Akashvani News, Director, Department of Youth Affairs Pankaj Kumar Singh said that very interesting and healthy discussions are taking place among the delegates to finalize the Y20 communique.
The inaugural session took place. After that, the various technical sessions which were curated around various themes of the Y20 this year. After the technical sessions, the discussions on various themes, they were started, which are still taking place. And I am happy to share the level of interest and the involvement of all the delegates is of a great, they are showing great interest in all discussions. And I am sure the Y20 Secretariat and the Y20 India team, they are doing it in a grand manner and they will come out with the document which will have all the deliberations and discussions in form of a communique which would be finalized and adopted.
Our correspondent reports that as part of the summit, a session on empowering the Amrit generation through participatory governance was also organized today. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. The government today imposed 40% duty on export of onions to control price rise and improve supplies in the domestic market. The Finance Ministry in a notification imposed the export duty till the 31st of December this year. The ministry said the duty is applicable immediately. Earlier, the government had announced to release 3 lakh tons of onions from its buffer stock to increase availability. Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution Secretary Rohit Kumar Singh took a meeting with the managing directors of NAFED and NCCF last week and finalized the modalities for the disposal. It was decided to release the onion stocks by targeting key markets in states or regions where retail prices are ruling above the All India average and also where the rates of increase in prices over the previous month and year are above threshold level. In recent days, heavy rainfall, cloudbursts and landslides have caused significant loss of life and property in Himachal Pradesh. The state's daily life has been severely disrupted, affecting water supply, power distribution, roads and other essential resources. Economic activities, including agriculture and horticulture, have been negatively impacted. BJP President JP Nadda and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur will visit the state tomorrow to assess damages. A report from our correspondent.
According to the State Disaster Management Authority, the state has seen substantial loss of life and property due to continuous heavy rainfall, cloudbursts and landslides. The toll includes the loss of lives of 335 people, with 324 injured and 37 still missing. The financial loss in the state has exceeded 10,000 crore rupees. Meanwhile, rescue efforts continue in the Summerhill area of Shimla, where individuals were trapped due to landslides over Shiv Temple on the 6th day of joint operation involving the army personals, NDRF, SDRF and police teams. 2 more bodies were recovered, raising the death toll to 16 in this incident. National President of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Jagat Prakash Nadda, and the Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting and Youth Affairs and Sports, Anurag Singh Thakur, will visit the state tomorrow, assess the extensive damages caused by heavy rainfall, floods and landslides. They will meet the families of those who lost their lives in this natural calamity. Ritesh Kapoor, Akashvani News, Shimla.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that the defence sector in the last 9 years has made giant strides towards achieving self-reliance, and most of the weapons being used by the armed forces are made in India. Addressing an event in New Delhi this evening, Mr. Singh said, "Without self-reliance, we cannot take independent decisions on global issues in line with national interests." He said the dependence on import of defence equipment is a hindrance to India's strategic autonomy. The minister said imports adversely affect the balance of trade that is detrimental to the economy. In archery, India won gold medals in both men's and women's team compound events at the World Cup Stage 4 games in Paris today. The Indian men's compound team of Abhishek Verma, Ojas Tewtale and Prathamesh Javkar defeated the second-seeded American men's compound team of Chris Schaff, James Lutz and Sawyer Sullivan 236-232. The women's team of Jyoti Vennam, Parneet Kaur and Aditi Swami came up with a 234-233 win over Mexico. In the women's individual compound event, Vennam lost to Great Britain's Ella Gibson in the semi-final. Vennam shot 2 nines over the 5 ends to finish with a good score of 148. Gibson shot a perfect 150 to reach the final. For the bronze, Vennam defeated Sara Lopez in a thrilling tie. Vennam and Lopez both shot 10s, but Vennam clinched the bronze by virtue of shooting her arrow closest to the centre. The International Cricket Council, ICC, today unveiled the mascots for the upcoming ODI World Cup at an event in Gurugram. According to the ICC, the unnamed male and female mascots represent distinct traits that stand as symbols of both gender, equality and diversity. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India's economy shines as a beacon of hope in these challenging times. Union Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya launches global initiative on digital health on concluding day of G20 Health Ministers meeting at Gandhinagar. Centre imposes 40% export duty on onions to improve its domestic availability. In Himachal Pradesh, normal life disrupted due to heavy rainfall and landslides. BJP President JP Nadda and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur to visit the state tomorrow to assess damages. And in archery, India win gold medals in both men's and women's team compound events at World Cup Stage 4 games in Paris. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. That is all in the news at 9. Good night.
This is Akashvani. In the program Spotlight, now we bring a discussion on India's rising prosperity